I just want to run through like how you get the maximum velocity. So if we go to the velocity, v squared equals a squared minus x squared. If you notice on a simple harmonic graph, the maximum velocity will be where the acceleration equals 0. It's also in the middle, so it's where x is at the centre. So it's x equals c, or 0 if the centre is 0. So, I mean, x equals 0 is just when the centre is at 0 anyway. So it's at the middle. Velocity is equal to 0 at the endpoints. So even when you have this little table, that's the centre, that's c plus a, c minus a. V max is in the middle, and v equals 0 is at the endpoints. Okay, and acceleration equals 0 at the middle, because the velocity will be its maximum when its derivative is 0, and its derivative is acceleration. And acceleration is the max at the endpoints. Okay, so there you go. All right, so what does that mean? That means that if you put in x equals 0, because that's what this one, the centre is x equals 0, then you get v squared equals n squared, a squared minus 0 squared. So you get v squared equals n squared, a squared. So v equals na. So when v equals na, then we know the velocity is maximum. Okay, and it will follow the same even if we did the shifted graph, because that's x minus c squared. So if I make x equals c, all that's going to do is go n squared a squared minus c. That will give you the 0. Okay, so you get v squared is n squared a squared. So v will equal to na. Now it's actually plus or minus na when you're talking about velocity. If you're talking about its speed, then it's the absolute value, which is just na. Okay, because you can have your maximum velocity here when v is less than 0, or your maximum velocity here when v is greater than 0. So you've actually really got to read the question and interpret what they're talking about. So you got maximum velocity, but besides maximum velocity, you can also look at maximum acceleration. So if you look at the same graph that we had down here, the maximum acceleration is at the endpoints. And the endpoints, like if we got v squared, not v squared, we got x double dot equals minus n squared x. So at the endpoints, x equals plus or minus a. So your maximum acceleration could be minus n squared times plus a, which is minus n squared a, or it could be minus n squared times minus a, which equals n squared a, depending on what position you're at. But it could be the maximum acceleration is at either endpoints when the velocity is equal to 0. And if it's a shifted one, it's still going to be the same, because it's x minus c, and it's going to be at the endpoint. See, the endpoint, for example, is c plus a or c minus a. So the c's go out, and you still get minus n squared a. And if it was the other way around, it would be plus n squared a. So maximum velocity is plus or minus na, and maximum acceleration will be at the endpoints. So it's minus n squared a plus or minus, or plus n squared a, depending what we're looking at here, or what endpoint we're actually at.